Nickelodeon star Josh Peck is pretty well adjusted nowadays for a former child actor, but his early days were filled with addiction and money problems. In fact, some aspects of his life have been downright tragic. Josh Peck has been very open about his family background, including the fact that he never met his dad. Even though Peck knew of his father's identity, the man already had a family when he met Peck's mother, and he was still married despite telling her he was separated.
I'm the son of a single parent. I was born during the Great Depression. My mother's.
Peck joked in his memoir, "Happy people are annoying." They weren't close enough to share a sandwich, let alone a baby. Peck believes that his father, whom he hadn't even seen a photo of until he was 24, did not claim him in order to protect his 3 older children. He came to that conclusion after creeping on a half-sibling's Facebook page, saying on the Adam Carolla show, "He gave my mom a little bit of money and never showed his face again. By the time I was interested enough or had the guts to kind of look for him, he had passed away, and I realized I had this whole other family. But I also didn't have a desire to blow up their image of their dad." For Josh Peck, having a single mom meant that their little family wasn't always able to afford luxuries. Living in New York City, they were forced to live in one-bedroom apartments prior to Peck's success, which meant that one of them always had to go without their own room. The actor told USA Today, "Money was scarce, so sometimes I'd have the couch, she'd have the bed, and then we'd switch off." In 2023, Peck told Variety that he was always stressed about his family's financial situation, which is what pushed him to do well in school and work hard as an actor. He became the sole provider for the family once he found Hollywood success. But he never forgot the lessons he learned from his mother in those early days. As he recalled to Forbes, "Growing up with a single mother meant nothing was promised. We were constantly adapting, pivoting, restructuring. It took a Herculean amount of strength and confidence to not only be a single mom, but also a businesswoman in what was a man's world at that time. So I watched as my mother fought for every inch." He didn't realize it was stress-related at the time, but one way that Josh Peck coped during his early childhood was with food. By the time he was a teenager, Peck already weighed close to 300 pounds. Peck continued to rely on food, which he called his first love in his book, as a crutch even after his career took off, and he recognizes that his weight is the defining aspect of his childhood. As he wrote, "For me, when I think of childhood, the singular, powerful, and all-consuming memory that comes to mind is being fat. I have good memories from childhood too, of course. I grew up with a deep awareness that I was loved, decent, cared for, and blah blah blah, but fat. Very, very fat." Peck has said that his own preoccupation with food was also modeled by his mother, who struggled with food addiction herself. He continued, "I obsessed over it, enough to lie, cheat, and steal just to get my fix. If that meant sneaking into your family's snack drawer when I came over, like an addict rummaging through a stranger's medicine cabinet, so be it." The world is not always a kind place to those who are overweight, and this is especially true for kids. In Josh Peck's case, comedy was the way that he coped with bullying about his size as a child. As a teen, he told USA Today, "If I thought a kid was going to make fun of me, I might make fun of myself first. I immediately went to comedy as my defense."
Try exercising.
This is no time for jokes, Megan.
Peck began performing stand-up in New York City clubs when he was only 10 years old, 3 years before his big break on The Amanda Show. It took a while, but he eventually lost 127 pounds after reaching a high of about 290 when he was in his late teen years. He has a great sense of humor about his weight loss, like when he joked that he had to lose weight the natural way because Ozempic hadn't been invented yet. Still, Peck has said that he doesn't like that people continue to create memes using images of him as a teenager to body shame him. It's common for people with addiction to substitute one addiction for another, so once Josh Peck dealt with his food addiction, he turned to substances to cope with his unresolved emotional issues. He was 17 when he lost the weight, and what followed were 4 years of chaos. As he recalled for the Steve-O's Wild Ride podcast, "I got in shape, and I thought I'd hit this finish line, but, of course, I had the same mind, and so I just needed something different." Peck was 17 the first time he tried drugs, but he liked the way it made him feel about himself and his life in general. As he told People, "I had this illusion of becoming more confident and attractive when I was partaking. I was trying to quiet that voice that woke me up every morning and told me I wasn't enough." The actor spent 4 years misusing substances, often cocaine, in part because he felt like he had to make up for the years when he held himself back due to insecurity about his weight. After 4 years of overindulgence, the actor decided to get sober, and he has remained that way since 2008.
Because pain has been such a great motivator in my life. and nothing ever changed on a good day. You know what I'm saying?
In his memoir, Josh Peck admitted that during his 4 years of substance abuse, he was using drugs and drinking alcohol every single day. This obviously created problems for him in both his personal and professional life, as he found himself isolated from loved ones and on a path of destruction. If this happened today, the actor's every misstep would no doubt end up on social media, but Peck was able to keep his problem hidden from the public. He had a close call with an arrest after cops noticed him driving erratically, but this didn't come to light until Peck chose to share the story in his book. While the actor was able to maintain his clean-cut image with the audience, people in Hollywood began to notice his unreliable and unpredictable behavior. This included director-producer Judd Apatow, who was producing the film Drillbit Taylor for release in 2008. Apatow eventually sent Peck an email about his on-set conduct, which the actor has admitted was less than stellar. He wrote, "I showed up late, was less than professional when it came to my preparation, and inevitably was just a liability." Around that time, Peck was reportedly in the running to star in Apatow's Superbad, but that didn't pan out since the director wasn't a fan of Peck's behavior. Peck has since made things right with Apatow, but the actor still regrets how his actions affected his career and professional relationships at the time. While the kid actors from Modern Family and the Harry Potter movies are set for life, the overwhelming majority of child stars don't make 7-digit amounts. This is a misconception that Josh Peck has tried to bust, and he hasn't shied away from sharing his childhood salary. As he put it to Business Insider, "With kids' television at the time, you're making a nice living, but it's reflective of maybe a dentist starting out. So while you're doing it, it's great. But when you're done, you certainly only have a year or two of runway to find your next job." Peck earned $15,000 an episode as the co-lead on Drake and Josh, which filmed anywhere from 6 to 19 episodes per season. He shared that he cleared about $100,000 per year back then, after taxes and paying off all of the people involved in his career, that is. During lower points, he claims to have made as little as $40,000 in take-home income, which is partially why he started to produce content on social media. Peck started on Vine, and after its 2017 shutdown, moved over to YouTube to make longer content. His acting career eventually rebounded, but he still produces comedic videos on Instagram, where he has 17 million followers. His YouTube channel is also still active, but it's now entirely devoted to his podcast. It is always scary to become a first-time parent, even if one has had a lot of exposure to babies. It's impossible to know exactly how one will react when they hold their newborn for the first time. People who come from more difficult family backgrounds may have additional anxiety about parenthood. That's exactly how Josh Peck felt as his first son came into the world. He posted on Instagram for Father's Day 2020, "I never met my dad and was scared that I wouldn't know how to do it. Thanks for teaching me, Max, and getting me in the club."
There are very few things that I would pick other than being with my son and my wife.
Interestingly, Peck has said that having his first son in 2018 is actually what allowed him to finally find closure with his own daddy issues. It also allowed him to quiet his fears that maybe he was not masculine enough to fill the role of parenting a male child, which is the reason why he was originally hoping for a daughter. As he joked on the Diary of a CEO podcast, "I'm a formerly chubby musical theater kid from New York. Anything that was masculine, I never thought I had the prerequisites for." The actor, whose second son was born in 2022, said he now looks to his father-in-law as a role model for manhood. Whenever a Hollywood celebrity is the talk of the town for getting cosmetic surgery, it's usually a woman, but plenty of men also get procedures to enhance their looks. It's been speculated that everyone from Matt Damon to Tom Cruise has gotten some work done, but Josh Peck is one of the few male celebrities that has opened up about his surgical history. Peck has admitted that his motivation to lose weight was driven by his desire to expand his range of roles, which developed while shooting the 2004 film Mean Creek. The actor ended up losing weight without having it surgically removed, but he had a different sort of operation after he was told by a crew member that his eye bags made him hard to light. Peck underwent an under-eye surgery, known as brachioplasty, in July 2023. As he said on Howie Mandel's podcast, "It's worth every penny." Josh Peck and Drake Bell will be forever linked in the minds of an entire generation thanks to their impressive chemistry over the course of 4 seasons of Drake and Josh. But they haven't exactly stayed close. A rift became public when Peck neglected to invite Bell to his 2017 wedding, causing the latter to rattle off a series of tweets and texts.
I'm not mad at you. I'm done.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't want anything to do with you anymore.
Peck said on BFFs with Dave Portnoy and Josh Richards, "I knew that Drake and I didn't stay in touch for the 10 years since we had made the show, but no one needed to know that. Like, I was happy to just die with that secret that we made this thing that people really love, but maybe we weren't that close." The actor seemingly made up at the 2017 Video Music Awards, where Bell agreed to apologize directly to Peck's wife, the uproar he caused. But Peck, who even posted a photo of them hugging at the event, claimed in 2022 that this was the last time they saw each other. Still, when the Quiet on Set docuseries was released in 2024, fans attacked Peck for not immediately speaking up in support of Bell, who recounted his sexual abuse in the documentary. Bell published a video in which he clarified that his former co-star had reached out privately and asked people to lay off the negative comments and accusations. But that didn't stop Peck's social media from being flooded with angry viewers.